Hey yo pineapples, Ned Shearer back again with yet another brand new deck profile. This one I'm going to be bringing you a hilariously fun build that I've been playing for about a week now and just tearing apart Dogmatica, Dragon Link, just been tearing apart everything. I've been playing a going second pure fossil fusion deck. I've been having so much fun with this deck. It's very linear in its gameplay, which I like because I'm not very smart, and I've just been destroying boards in just a little over a week now. It's been so much fun. I've been having so much fun with this deck. It's a very budget deck, so if you wish to test it out, by all means, and give me some of your thoughts. I know some people have been playing their Adamantipator cards in it. I've chosen not to for two reasons. One, I don't have the Adamantipator cards, and two, I just think this one's just generically a lot more consistent. As I said, I've been breaking Dragon Link Dogmatica boards for the whole week, reviving Dragoons during my opponent's turn. It's just been absolutely insane. But otherwise, I've been having a lot of fun, so I'll get straight into the deck profile. It is 25 monsters, it is 15, it is 12 spell cards, and it's 3 trap cards. Starting with the monster lineup, the only fossil monster we have at the moment is Withering Soldier. He's your main monster that you wish to get into the graveyard. For those who don't know what these cards do, Withering Soldier is if it's destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard via a card effect, you can add a Fossil Fusion spell card, or a card that lists Fossil Fusion in its text except itself from your deck to your hand. And also, if it's on the field during each end phase, it loses 600 attack points. That's not a big deal. You want to get this in your graveyard as quickly and as fast as possible. And the way I'm helping that out, I'm playing 3 Mathematician. It just solves everything of the deck, I feel. You go off really hard. Normal math, send the Withering Soldier, continue your play. So it's been really good and really consistent. The other rock monster I play are 2 copies of Nemesis Keystone. This card's actually insane. As much as I would love to bump this up to 3, the third one doesn't come up as often or as regularly as you might think. So what this one does is, in the hand, you can reveal it to target a banished monster, except Nemesis Keystone. Shuffle that monster into your deck, special summon this monster. So it's a good recursion card, and also if it's banished, during the end phase of the turn that this card is banished, you can add it back to your hand. So it's a good recursion card, so you can add back your Withering Soldiers when you banish them off your Fossil Fusions, and just continue to loop as well. So really good card. Then I'm playing a whole bunch of hand traps, so I'm playing 3 copies of Nibiru. This one is in particular for a couple of reasons. It's a rock monster, so you can use it to ensure that you have a rock monster in your graveyard. It's a higher level, so you can summon out your bigger Fossil Fusion monsters. It's also just, it seems like to be the go-to trap card other than things like Imperm and Valor and all that sort of, and Draw and Lockbird and all that sort of stuff. Just because Dragon Link is so prevalent. And it does clear a lot of boards, and it has won me a lot of games. The other hand traps I'm running are 3 Ash Blossom of Joy Spring. Just your generic overall good hand trap. Not much else to say about her. 3 Effect Veiler, just because it's so versatile. It's probably one of the better ones. You can't let that Verta Anaconda go off. So that's why I'm running this. And then I'm also playing 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I don't know how I feel about this one. It has been good for the sort of the rogue decks, but as a card for the meta, I'm still on the fence about this card. So if you have any suggestions of what this card might be better suited for, maybe I can just take out one of the Ash Blossoms and then just main deck 3 Impermanents. But again, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you how you play your hand traps. I chose to use this. As I said, it has come up, so it's a good card nonetheless. It's a pure going second build, so we play the Pancratops, just because he's your free out to literally anything. And then for this deck, I'm also playing a Kaiju package of 5 Kaijus, playing 1 Dogoran, 1 Gandala, 1 Kumungus, and then 2 Gameciel. I was originally running 6 with the Dark One Raiden. But when you have Raiden and a Fossil Fusion monster, they just super poly and make Dracostopelia, which just shuts me down for an entire turn. So it's better not to have that one. So I've chosen these ones. As much as I would like Raiden because it's an easier monster to beat over, these ones suited the best. As I said, these ones are the easiest to beat over, and this is just for my benefit, so I could get another big Mox monster on my field. So, and a lot of people get really pissed off when they have to Red Eyes Fusion for their turn, set one back row, and you just kaiju over the Dragoon. So it's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, moving on to the spells, 3 of your most important card, Fossil Fusion. This is the heart and soul of the deck. This one, it's kind of like an invocation in a sense. So you can fusion summon a Fossil Fusion monster. A Fossil Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing cards in both yours and or your opponent's graveyard. So it's a really good card. If you banish cards from both players' graveyards, the monster that you summoned cannot be it's either targeted or destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target that special summon monster with monster effects. So it's a really good, really good card in that sense. It also has the other effect of if a Fossil Fusion monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add this from your graveyard back to your hand, but that's a once per turn effect. So as for any other fusion card, the once per turn, the fusioning isn't once per turn, but adding it back from the graveyard is, so that doesn't matter. Also playing 3 copies of Miracle Rupture, just your Foolish Burial for a level 4 or lower rock monster to the graveyard. If you have Fossil Fusion in your graveyard as well, you get to draw a bonus card. So there's another really good +1 there. I'm only playing 2 copies of Time Stream, because you don't really... The grave effect comes up more often than the on-field effect. So the on-field effect is you target a Fossil Fusion monster you control, tribute it, then summon another one from your deck that's 2 levels higher than the one you tributed. In grave, you literally you banish it into Monster Reborn, a Fossil Fusion monster. It's such an incredible card, but mostly for the graveyard, which is why I'm running it only at 2, because the effect to Fusion Climb, as it were, just doesn't come up as often as really necessary. Honestly, you could probably even cut this down to 1. I haven't really needed the second one all that often, so you more than welcome to cut this down to 1 if you so choose. But I like having the extra option in my deck. So and with the kaijus, I'm playing 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. As I said, a lot of people don't like me when I play the kaijus. When you drop a when you drop a kaiju on their spell trap negate and then drop this, I've had a lot of people quit just straight after the duel. But it's a really good card. Just get your bigger monsters in the grave for your bigger fusion monsters. The one-offs, I'm playing a 1 Monster Reborn. It's a really good card. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. As I said, this was actually a copy of Raiden the Kaiju, but this is a flex spot, really. This is your Upstart Goblin, pretty much, so you can run whatever you want in this deck for this slot. And then the 4th Foolish Burial of the Foolish Burial. So, and then the 3 trap cards that I'm running are, as a not infinite impermanence, are 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. This card has put in work. What you would do, actually, I'll explain what you do with this once I get to the fusion monsters. So pretty much what you do is you would fusion summon a fusion monster. You would, if they happen to have a board that you just simply cannot clear, you flip this then, which means that you can just start the board with a clean slate. Fossil Fusion gets added back because one of your fusion monsters was destroyed by a card effect, and you can just go off again. This card puts in work. I would say minimum once a match. It's so good. I love this card to death. I really do. But I don't know how I feel about 3. Maybe 2 could be more than enough. But again, it's a really good card. I recommend you testing at least 2 for a build of this. So that's the 40 card main. So the extra deck consists of, I believe it's 9 fusion monsters, 1 Exceed, and 5 Link monsters. Starting with the fusion monsters. 2 Fossil Warrior Skull King. This is your go-to fusion monster to summon off for your OTK pushes. This is the reason why this deck is very quick at ending games. You don't need Borrelsword Dragon. This guy is your better bet. Also, for those who are playing a Dogmatica version of any deck, please do not use the effect of Maximus against this deck. I've had minimum 2 players use... Okay, one of them used Maximus to do the thing because he had no idea what I was playing. I made him go first, so he had no idea what I was playing. So he did the thing, and then game 2, he Maximused, looked at his extra deck, sent 1, and went, I've just realized that I've done something very bad. So please don't use Maximus. It seems to be the hype of the last couple of days. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, back to the fusion monsters. This requires 1 rock monster and 1 level 7 or above monster. All the fossil fusion warrior monsters can have the ability of they cannot be fusion summoned. They cannot be summoned from the extra deck without fossil fusion. So that's the only condition they all share. This one can make 2 attacks per battle phase. It inflicts piercing damage. Also, during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target a card in your opponent's graveyard, then discard a card to special summon that monster to your field. The target in the graveyard is cost, which I had to explain to a few people. Then you discard and then you special summon it. You summon so many Red Eyes Dark Dragoons, it's unreal. I've summoned minimum 5 if I had to put a number to it. It's just been so good. You just end on this, attack them for a lot. Think that they have a chance, use this, summon back the Dragoon, pass. They have to scoop immediately, so it's really, really good. And a lot of fun. Playing 2 Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. This one is requires a rock monster plus a level 5 or 6 monster. Again, cannot be summoned unless from a Fossil Fusion. It also has piercing, and if it destroys an opponent, when this card's attacked and it destroys an opponent's monster, it's got a BLS of where it can make it a second attack. And also, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. A face-up monster your opponent controls. I did get caught out because I thought it was face-up card. Thought it'd be sneaky and have no field and pop a mine. But anyway, 2 Fossil Warrior Skullbone. This one again requires Fossil Fusion. This one doesn't have piercing. It has the effect of it can make 2 attacks on monsters. It can make a second attack as long as up to 2 attacks during each battle phase on monsters. Also, it has a grave effect of you banish it from your grave to add time stream from your deck to your hand. So another good card. It's also level 4, much like this one. Fossil Dragon Skullgar, probably the better one to be making first. It only has piercing, and it also has the effect of if you can banish it from your grave to add Fossil Fusion from your deck to your hand. That's a hard once per turn as well. So that's probably your go-to monster to summon first, and then Fusion climbing into your Skull King. Last but not least, 1 Fossil Dragon Yugioh. This has been hilarious when I've been playing it, to be honest. This one requires 1 rock monster and 1 level 4 or lower monster in your opponent's graveyard. So the Skull Dragons require monsters in your opponent's graveyard. This one has 1 rock monster and 1 level 7 or higher monster in your opponent's graveyard. So, Fossil Fusion. So it also has, this one's a little bit trickier. Before damage calc, if it battles an opponent's monster, you can switch the attack and defense points of your opponent's monster. This one does piercing damage, and this also does, if it battles a monster, any battle damage done to your opponent is doubled. So there's been so many times where I've Nibiru'd, and the Nibiru has 0 defense points. You make this, you swing for 7k, and then you just have another little monster on your field and kill him for turn. So really, really good card. Just a one-off because it doesn't opt for any other OTK plays. And it's specifically for your opponent's graveyard, so it's why I'm only running the 1. The only Xyz monster I run is Galleon Granite, just to search out your rock monsters. I've searched Nibiru, maybe a Keystone if you wish to recycle some resources, so it does have its perks. And then the Xyz monsters going from 1s to high, we start with the 1s of Relinquished Anemia and Link Rebo. They do come up with the Keystone, this one in particular, where you could just kaiju something in that column, relinquish to steal it, link it off, that way you've got a high-leveled monster in your graveyard to summon Fossil King and go off. And then Link Rebo is Link Rebo, not much else to say about him. It's a fusion deck, so Cross Sheep is a mandatory thing. It's a fusion-focused deck, so Cross Sheep is mandatory. We're playing 1 Unicorn just for the little instances where you can get rid of a specific card, and then because it's an OTK deck, Access Code Talker. As I said, you don't really need Borrelsword Dragon, but you're more than welcome to play it for a budget version. I just think Access Code Talker, because your Skull King attacks twice in the turn anyway. Regardless, this is probably the better bet. So you can just banish a couple of cards, play their board, attack with this for 53, and then Skull King twice for 56. So, I mean, you won't be doing it all, but it still works nonetheless. So that's the end of that, and that is the end of the Fossil going second deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it, and I do hope you at least give this a go. It's so much fun. Any tips, tricks, or queries about the deck, by all means, leave them in the comments below. I will endeavour to read all those lovely things. I can't say much else about it. And if you're a fan of the GX era of Mr. Jim Crocodile Cook, you'll love this deck as well. So thank you ever so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys. Peace.